what's called the Pence bomb investigation. This is the investigation, as far as she's concerned, that was going on. Unfortunately, due to marital problems, she, and this is where the investigating Allah puts things in your way. One day I was being interviewed by a journalist in the US. She's a Muslim girl. She was working for Amel magazine, and she was talking about another case. So we were talking, and I said, "You've got an American accent. Where are you from?" She said, "I'm from Boston." I said, "Okay, Boston. Have you ever heard of the case of a girl named AAFIA.3gp? I've been working on the case for a number of years now, and just thought I'd ask you." She goes, "This is the person that they said." Immediately thereafter, there were articles in the Pakistani press and the American press claiming that she was being interrogated by the FBI. All of these articles were redacted almost immediately after their release in custody. SubhanAllah, I remember where I was. This is one of those moments in your career, in your life. I was at my in-laws' home in Cardiff, and I remember getting a message from Sister Mariam, actually. And she said, "I'm sorry I'm going for so long, but I think it's so important that people know what has been said about her." So their story is this: the son. Okay, they claim that Arthur was running around doing her whole thing for 5 years, that she disappeared of foreign accord, that she wasn't in their custody. That's their claim. Their claim is that she was found outside the governor of Ghazni's compound with the statue, which had chemical explosives in it, and the anarchist arsenal handbook, which is an old anarchist book about weaponry, and also targets. The Afghan said that she had targets. According to her indictment, they come into her cell and there's a curtain in there, and they're walking around and they don't see Afia in the cell. So one of the agents puts his gun down on the floor right by the curtain. They claim that they didn't know Afia was in there. I think the story gets even more crazy than this. The next part of the story goes like this. She jumps out from behind the curtain, picks up the weapon, shouts, "You such and such," some profanities, "Allahu Akbar," and starts firing. She unhooks the safety. This is in the indictment as well. So this M4 carbine, it's a big assault rifle. She picks this up, undoes the safety, and starts firing at them. Okay, they claim that she's a weapons expert, and yet, despite firing at them, she misses every single agent in the room, and she gets shot in her abdomen, which claims, and this is before the Americans ever reveal her location, and her son is in custody, after an argument broke out between Americans and Afghani, and she was shot in the crossfire between the two forces. The article the following day in the Associated Press totally negates what was said in these targets of New York, which is in her indictment. So the higher offense, which is the offense in this case, and honestly, if I had the time, I'd have you here till midnight talking about this case. But the reality is that there are some extremely, in our knowledge, she was held by the US, she was in US custody. And it is an obligation on all of us to try and do whatever we can to make people realize that that is the true story, not this shooting that she's being convicted of. That's completely irrelevant in this whole story. What's relevant is why was she detained in Pakistan in 2003, and where was she kept? We'll give your time and your efforts to help organizations like the Justice for Africa Coalition in order to bring some redress for our sister and help her to free her from her plight. So I cannot say for taking the time to listen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
That's the main thing. Alhamdulillah.